Hi, it's Raven. Um, Excuse me if I screw this up terribly. This is my, first video that isn't just a tiny short. Second video altogether, so I'm a newbie. I wanted my first video to be about something that is important to me, which is adult autism, because, well, I am a high functioning adult with autism. Uh, and it can be a lot to deal with. Um, this isn't going to go into the science of it or anything. This is mainly for neurotypicals who want to know what it's like to have it and want to know how to deal with people who do. So, without further ado, I guess, the best analogy I've been able to come up with that tends to resonate with people is imagine you've walked into a room, and in that room is a lot of people all speaking a different language. You can understand a little bit if you had to go to the bathroom or something. You would be able to understand the directions. But for the most part, you're not understanding anybody, and it's very frustrating and very stressful. There's miscommunication errors like crazy. Now, if you're a neurotypical, eventually you're going to learn that language. Just being around the people, you will pick it up, and uh, you'll be able to glean what everybody's saying, and eventually you'll be fluent too. And anytime you want, you can leave the room. For an autistic, that is not so much the case. We can never really leave the room because even if we go outside it, nothing's changed. Everybody's still speaking a different language. Also, we try as we might, and we do try hard, we will never become fluent in that language. Autism comes down to basically a epic level learning disability. And where our learning disability is focused is on understanding facial expressions and body language and things like that. So, you might be like, well, everybody's speaking English or whatever your home language is, and they should understand it. Well, you're right. Except under that is a whole other nuanced language. And it's, full of micro expressions and different things that, most neurotypical people grow up learning that. And by the time they're an adult, they've got it down that, but an autistic person, we don't have any natural ability to learn that. And depending on how we're raised and things, we may learn more or less of it, but we're never, ever going to be fluent. There's always going to be communication errors. That's why I like, for example, if you make a sarcastic joke to an autistic person, they might take you literally. In fact, that's pretty frequent. It's because they understood the words, but not the meaning behind them, because they don't get that nuanced language that's under it. As you can imagine, this is really stressful. I mean, you are 24/7 in a world where you don't speak the language, and you never will. This isn't to say all autism is bad, though. Generally, we have our perks. Generally, we usually have a higher IQ than average, and if we're interested in something, we are the fastest learners on the planet. And there's a certain freedom in not being able to understand people's judgments, because it tends to mean that we are more free to do what we want. We might dress weird. We might, be into really nerdy things or something, and we won't give a shit. Because even if we did understand that, it was weird, we're so used to people looking at us like we're aliens that screw it. So there is, good things to it too. But that's what it's like. It's always being in that room full of people who you cannot understand for the most part. And like I said, it gets very stressful. The way to deal with people is not get offended. Give them space, and don't get offended if, like, you invite them somewhere and they don't show up. They intended to. More than likely, they just got so stressed out dealing with people. And they're, basically brain power got used up. And they need to recharge. That spoonful of energy, it's depleted. Uh, and it has nothing to do with you whatsoever. Also, the best ways I could say say to deal with it is, I have a couple examples. Like, Pat and I had somebody over a while ago from Minnesota, and we were showing them Seattle. And, we were hanging out all day, driving around, boat cruise, whale cruise, the whole thing. It was great. We decided to show them Park Place. Pike Place Market, sorry. Anyway, and we got in there and it was packed. And I tried. But once I got in there, I looked at Pat and our friend and I was like, nope, not going to happen. Give me the keys. And they were cool about it. No problem whatsoever. Gave me the keys. I went back to the car, had my quiet time, read a book. They came back after having their fun, and it was all good. Nobody made a big deal about it, because it wasn't one really. And it was great. And another good example is my brother. I go to visit him, and he knows that if I disappear, that I'll be out again. I just need a break. And that it has nothing to do with him. He even has his daughter knowing, and oh my God, I love her. She's freaking adorable. But even she knows not to take it personally. Auntie just has to disappear for a while. And, the best way is to don't get offended. Let them take the time they need. And just don't make a big deal out of it, because they're going to be back. They actually do want to be there. They just need a break. And this will happen especially fast in crowds, and I've heard some people have meltdowns. Luckily, people are good about letting me, take off. They know me well enough. But sometimes if an autistic person can't get away, they'll have a meltdown or something. Really, you just want to let them go. They know what they need. They know they need to get away for a while, take a breather, and they'll be back. It's just very stressful having to deal with a whole world where you don't understand a lot of what's going on. You understand the language, but not what's behind it, which means, in a very real way, you don't understand what's being said a lot of the time. Not being able to understand social cues and all that can be an epic pain in the ass, and it makes life very stressful. But, it's dealable. There's no drugs for it yet. Personally, I take Prozac. But for the, social anxiety aspect of it. But it's dealable, and we're great people. We're awesome. And really, just like anybody else, there's extra stuff you have to deal with. Everybody has their own crap. And that's just how you do it. Don't get offended. Let them take the time out that they need, even if it's in the middle of something. And don't make a big deal out of it. Just, let them back in. Continue doing what you're doing. Another thing is, sometimes people will really, really want to come over or something. And then they'll get offended if the, autistic person's like not paying that much attention to them or not talking much. It's like, why'd you have me over in the first place? This is actually a compliment in a backhanded way. 9 times out of 10, it's because they really liked you, really didn't want to upset you. And they did want to see you, but they were mentally exhausted. So they said yes, so they wouldn't disappoint you, but they didn't have the they were too pooped to pop, basically. So your options there are, once again, don't get offended. You're the one who wanted to come over. Just either A, understand what's going on, say, you know what, I'm going to take off. Or B, find something, stick around, hang out, share quiet time, do something on your own, read a book, whatever. And just spend time with them quietly. That could also work. Now, none of this is the be-all, end-all. Everybody's different. This is just my experience being an autistic person. And it's similar to a lot of people I've talked to with autism. So hopefully this helps. And hopefully you enjoyed this terribly edited newbie video. Okay. Have a good one, guys. Bye.